Welcome back to the Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Braille, sitting in the King Motorsports studio, and across from me is my co-host, Adam Nilsson. And this week on Zoom, we have Eman from Ohio.
Are we just going to call this rebuttal?
I think so. We're just going to let him explain himself.
We'll see what the
there's a lot that's going to happen in this conversation after the trip to Iowa on top of all of this.
I was trying to warm up some shit talking in our little chat between the three of us here before this started, but Robbie wasn't playing ball as much as I wanted him to.
Sorry. I'm tired. I'm just always tired. I don't have any kids, so.
Robbie, I swear to God.
Yeah, you guys don't even realize how tired I am. You should feel bad for me.
Just feel bad for him for all of his free time and disposable income.
Yeah. Can you imagine how nice it would be to be home by 3:30 every afternoon?
It's 4:30. I go to the gym.
No,
feel
that
bad
doesn't
for
fucking
me.
count, Robbie.
Feel bad for me, Adam. I have to get up early.
But I feel like you and I are both at work before Robbie is.
No, because Robbie starts really early.
I get up. I'm at work at 6.
Yeah,
6 to 2:30.
You're at work at 6? Like
Yeah.
doing work or just like there?
I'm at work at 6. Okay.
he doesn't actually do anything ever. He's an engineer.
This guy with a desk talking shit like he doesn't have his own desk.
spend like almost no time at it.
That's not true.
Okay, you're right. I probably spend an hour a day on it from 5:30 to 6:30 at night. I probably am at my desk, yes.
But you have a desk.
Because that's the only time I actually get to sit at my desk is after everyone else has gone home.
Sounds cushy.
Dude, I had
It
a
can
string.
be.
I had a string today of an hour and a half stretch where I would be on the phone with somebody and I would get a call from somebody else and I'd miss it. And so then I'd get done with conversation 1 and call back person number 2. And while I'm talking to them, I'd get another fucking it was an hour and a half straight of hanging up, calling this person back, hanging up, calling the next person, hang up, call the next person.
Welcome to my life.
At least I don't have that.
The joys of project management and construction and having all these different jobs going. And you're like, I gotta call this guy, and I gotta call this subcontractor, I gotta call that subcontractor, I gotta call that guy, I gotta call this guy. There's a new build that we're working on, building out a barbershop in, and there's one company that's already done. And there is an empty unit on the left of them and an empty unit on the right of them that we're working at. And every day they're complaining about the noise we're making building this out. It was gutted. Like we had to do underground plumbing, concrete, metal framing, all the mechanicals, everything. And it's like, you guys know you're going to go through this on the other side of you as well, too. At one point, they asked us if we could do all of our work from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure. You're going to add, 150% to the cost. And this is going to stretch out for, 4 to 6 more months.
That's when I get my best work done. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right? Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
I don't have to do much of that anymore because I have to be at work during the day.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do night cuts as much. But I still probably get a phone call every time there is a night cut. My phone will ring sometime between 10:30 and midnight every time I have a crew out. They will fucking call me with a question. I'll even go out there with the guy who's going to be in charge that night. I'll go out there with him before I go home that day, and we'll walk through the job, and, yep, we're good. Okay, sweet. Going to bed tonight. You're not going to call me. Nope, we're good. 11:30. Ring, ring, ring. Adam, what am I supposed to do? I don't understand. I'll fucking kill you.
Did you eat a payday before you went to bed, though? Because that's the lucky thing, right?
That is the lucky thing. You're not wrong. Maybe I need to eat more paydays.
There you go. No, I love that. I like when I explain I have a few drywallers and a few framers that I'm like, explain the job, and I'll get the smile and nod, thumbs up, and I'll come back an hour later and it's like, oh, what the shit is this?
Yeah, but you're probably talking about a language barrier.
Maybe.
I'm not.
I've
not.
listened to
I deal with that too. Don't get me
Iowans
wrong.
talk before, but there's a language barrier there too.
Oh please, I still talk that though.
Yeah, that language is easily spoken between us.
Yeah, it's no problem.
That's fair.
Anyways,
fucking jerk.
So I got to see
like
him.
Ohio's any different, Robbie?
Dude, it's just Iowa.
It's just farther east.
Yeah, it's the Middle Eastern Iowa.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. They have like 2 bigger cities, and they're like, "Oh, we're so great.
We're so special."
Yep. Bragging like
What are they bragging about, Robbie?
bragging like Cleveland and Dayton is that great?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck Cincinnati. That's not even a thing, apparently.
Robbie's a huge fan of Cincinnati ball sports.
Yeah,
No, Cleveland.
Or sorry, Cleveland. Cleveland.
I do
ball
like
sports.
Cleveland.
Robbie's favorite teams all exist in Cleveland for some strange reason.
I know, because he's supposed to come with me to a Bengals-Browns game.
Yeah,
It's a long drive for of disappointment.
for the Bengals. I don't know.
Are they the ones who play in Cincinnati? I don't have the
Yeah.
slightest fucking clue.
He's not joking either.
I don't have any idea.
Oh, I know.
Dude,
I'm well aware. Last time, my first time on the podcast, he couldn't think of where baseball's played and said, "Oh, where did he say?" And he couldn't come up with ballpark, ball arena or something.
I don't know.
And it's like, take me out to the ball arena.
This year I was a little bit disappointed in myself. I actually knew one of the teams in the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl happened. And I think this probably set a record for the shortest period of time between the time the Super Bowl ended and me figuring out who actually won. It was nearly 24 hours this time, which is a shortened record for me.
You and I are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't get it.
I mean, I enjoy, if I have nothing else to do or just noise around the house, I'll turn football on.
It's because I don't have any I have no competitive spirit.
I do.
Like when we used to skate, Robbie'd be like, we'd go to these skate competitions and Robbie would have to compete, even knowing that he had no chance. He had to compete, and I could not imagine something I would want to do less.
I mean, the Dotson's going into Club TR, knowing what's going to happen.
I have no drive to compete.
It's mainly because I just don't want to only run on Sundays.
Yeah,
That's not what HPD
yeah,
is
that is a
doing.
little rough for the festival weekends.
Oh, all of them. Mid-Ohio is only Sunday.
That's a festival
for HPD.
weekend.
Oh,
It's a festival tour.
Yep.
festival.
It's a festival
Quotations.
tour.
Lottery.
It's not a club weekend.
But
Club
even,
weekends.
well, even at Topeka, it's probably going to be mostly that way.
Club weekends have plenty of HPD throughout the weekend.
because they'll be racing late into Sunday.
Yeah.
I saw, looking back, trying to find a charge on something in my bank statement. I saw a charge for a Grid Life event, and I think I've already bought my ticket for Topeka.
Oh, nice.
So
You
I'm
think
at least
you
going
have?
to Topeka.
You think you have?
You can look in Torque Hub and see what you paid for.
I bought one, and I know Mid-Ohio sold out before I bought anything. Lime Rock
that's
sold out
right,
before
because
I
you
bought
tried to
anything.
buy some and then they all sold out immediately. And
I was
so
gonna-
you couldn't.
I had a gold pass ready to go, and then I talked myself out of it, forgetting that I could sell them if I couldn't make it. I didn't want to buy a gold pass with a newborn and be like, "Oh, this is whatever reason I can't make it to that event," and be stuck with a ticket. And I was like, and then Dalton's like, "You can sell them if you can't make it." It's like, shit. So I hopped back in to buy my gold pass, and everything was sold out.
That's what most people, I think, do. They just buy gold passes and then
so they can't make.
Shit, people are already selling tickets to events that are more than a month away off their gold pass.
Yeah, no, next year I won't let that happen.
At some point, gold passes are going to be only available to people who had gold passes last year.
That's why I'm like,
To getting
I
into,
gotta
into
get on that train.
Yeah, we're not far off of that being a real problem.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll probably have to start doing that. Every year in January, the race
You
schedule.
fight with yourself over this?
No. The race schedules come out, and I show Jess, here's my tentative schedule, knowing full well I'm not going to make it to half of what I think I'm going to, and then I'm going to go to things I don't plan to go to.
Right.
Every fucking year.
Right.
So then we fight about it.
Yep.
Over
I was going to say, and then you fight
we
about
fight
whether
about
or
what
not
events
you're
I'm
going
going
to go
to,
these.
and then the level of commitment I have to racing versus
Because
the level
she
of commitment I
thinks-
have. Yeah.
She thinks that not only are you going to go to all of those that you showed her, but you're also going to drop more of them on top of those.
Yes.
So she thinks you're going to more than you're actually going to go to.
Yep. So I'm like,
You know you're not going to that many.
right. So I'm like, here's all of Grid Life schedule. Here's all of WRL schedule. Here's the mid of TT. Here's some other things I'd like to do. And it's just like, here's just a list of everything that's available.
Right.
And knowing full well I'm going to make it to like 4 of them.
Right.
So then we fight about it. And then something happens. I'm like, see, I told you I couldn't make it to half of these. There's no point in fighting.
I do the same thing. Like everyone gets like the drift schedule out for like Drift Indy and Club FR and Club Loose and all these other drift events. I was like, man, I'm definitely going to try to get out of, going to Killcare and going to some of the different events. I'm going to put these on my calendar. I'm going to definitely make an effort to go to them. And it's like, I end up at the same like 6 events at Killcare. And it's like, whatever, maybe next year.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's an hour away. It's fine. It's fun. See all my friends.
Oh man, being able to just drive an hour to an event.
That'd be great.
Can you imagine,
but it's
Robbie?
It's a circle track it's not nearly as fun to it's not that fun to drive, but it's somewhere to drive.
It's
But,
better
like,
than
it's a
not
circle with an
driving,
X,
right?
That's how we felt about RPM. But
That's how we felt about Marshalltown.
nah, we enjoyed Marshalltown.
Marshalltown was great. I desperately miss it.
Yeah. It was good times.
I already talked to you about it. I was gonna try to rent RPM, but they changed their rules and said no drifting.
Yeah, they had a pretty big falling out with the Omaha drift scene.
That's because they maybe crashed a few too many cars there.
I had a friend that wanted to rent Little Talladega, the Airbnb or whatever, that has like a little drift track around it.
That's super cool.
It's a minimum 2-night stay. It's $2,500 a night.
Ooh.
But how many people?
20 people. It sleeps 20. But, if I go, I'm going to bring my wife. So there's 2. And almost everyone I know that drives has a significant other that would want to go. So that realistically, that's 10 couples. So
5 nights.
it's still not cheap.
Or $5,000.
Yeah, so $500. And it's like, we could rent RPM.
Have you heard about this thing, Robbie? Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
This Little Talladega.
I don't know the specifics.
So it's this house on Airbnb. It's this big fucking mansion.
Yep. And they have their own website.
Yep.
Yeah. LittleTalladega.com, apparently, because Robbie looked it up. And it's just got a track paved around the house. And then apparently there's an 1/8 mile flat dirt track as well. And then
there's an arcade. And
the shop has an arcade,
go-karts.
and there's go-karts, and there's mini golf, there's riding trails. There's all kinds of crazy stuff there. It's super cool.
Yeah. Looks super
A few
fun.
of my friends went down. Scott from Grip Royal invited some of my friends from Dayton down, and they did put a YouTube video together and stuff. And it looked like fun, but I mean, in the end, it's a circle track around a house. So
yeah, it's not that great.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun until he drives his 350Z through the front window, and then it's not fun anymore for him.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun
It'd be
for us, Robbie.
great content
That
for
sounds
us, but
great.
sounds
Let's
terrible
do
for
it.
him.
Turns out I'm in. That would be amazing. Can you imagine the kind of dumb shit that Dalton could get into there?
Yep. All of it. Well,
Dalton would be out there with his Corvette on the 1/8 mile dirt flat track,
it just gets stuck.
just sliding that thing around the dirt.
it'd get even more bent.
Cracked.
You can only bend fiberglass so much before it cracks. I'm just saying.
All right, it'll be cracked.
Same with aluminum.
Yeah, and aluminum. So it's fine though. The car's not broken, guys.
Uh-huh.
Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah, the engine warms up real fast at 70 degrees.
We'll get there.
He's not wrong about it though.
No, he's not.
Engines warm up really fast at Redline.
They do.
All right, so let's start this off. E-Man,
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Emmanuel.
What's up?
Have you seen, Robbie? Have you seen that TikTok or Facebook or Instagram reel video?
You lost me
whatever
at
you wanna
TikTok.
Talk about where there's some girl who's like a farmer and she
Hot?
not especially.
Well, I'm just trying to think of what type of TikTok this is, because there are
she's-
that type of girl.
She has an emu named that she calls Emmanuel, and it's always getting in the way of her videos.
and she's always yelling
And
at
she's
it.
always yelling at
I
it.
have seen that.
It's literally my favorite thing in the world because it's just what I imagine Sarah has to do all the time at the house. Emmanuel, no.
I have seen that video.
Yeah,
Why did you choose violence today, Emmanuel? It's just that's what I picture in my head
it's pretty accurate.
the Carr household.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that is exactly how it is because that's how it was in Hall.
That's fair. Anyway, let's talk about the bet. The con. I think we decided to call it the con.
I call it a
right.
con.
That's right. We did call it the con. So defend yourself. Go.
So, in the beginning, you guys already went over where all the
6
bets
months
started,
ago.
where all the bets started and everything. And we can go back. First of all, no point did Dalton agree and lock in this bet.
We're aware. We discussed this. There was,
and I'm not backing out. I'm getting a tattoo, hands down. He won. I'm getting the tattoo, even though he didn't lock in the bet and didn't ever agree. The whole time he was like, "Well, what tattoo am I getting?" And I gave him a list. He never picked one. He never locked it in. But
I still
whatever.
think you should get to pick it.
I'm still getting the Iowa Man tattoo that I agreed to because the bet was I get an Iowa Man tattoo.
Where are you getting this tattoo?
I'm still deciding. I think it's going to go right next to my Petrol Box and 1010's podcast one.
So what parts of your body do you have left to tattoo?
My right leg, like my right thigh is pretty empty.
What about your shaft? Can you get a corn cob and it says Iowa Man?
I'll help pay for that.
And like my
you want to see my Iowa Man tattoo grow?
My stomach and chest are pretty open.
Do you have a tramp stamp?
Well, he's got a full back.
Oh, that's right. That's less fun.
I'm like,
hey, this is YouTube. You want to just take your shirt off?
No, please don't.
I'm shoulder blades all the way down to like belt line, like the whole side to side, top to bottom. But and back of the thighs are already done. So I'm thinking on my upper thigh.
Where are the Petrol Box and 10/10 logos?
Upper thigh, like a couple of inches left of
the shaft.
Of the shaft. Send you a picture.
No,
there's most certainly a picture in the
right.
In the
yeah. We got it.
Picture,
we got it.
I just couldn't remember where it was.
Oh, what a!
It's that tiny little.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saved it all weird. Let me try to pull it.
And that tattoo, I mean, is the size of my hand.
We appreciate that. I mean, we'd appreciate it more if it was in a place that people could see it, but
I'm naked way more often than you think.
I've seen you.
Public?
I mean, not Dalton.
I've seen you a bunch of times, but
yeah,
it took a while for me to see you with your shirt off to see your full tattoo.
I don't think it did. At PRI, the first time you met me in person, or no, second time you met me in person at PRI, I was wandering around the house without a shirt on. And most track days, I don't have a shirt on.
Is that a Subaru tattoo next to it?
No, it's the top of a lightsaber.
The stars?
Yeah, it's like the lightsaber's like just starting to turn on. It's just a little color to it. It's Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and it has a banner that says like "My Father Before Me."
Okay.
And then below it is a Death Star, some X-wings, TIE fighters, and a Star Destroyer.
Right. Yeah.
And a Petrol Box tattoo.
Robbie do that.
This looks like a broken golf ball next to a battleship.
Some sort of ship.
That was one of my friend's apprentice tattoos. So that was their first tattoos. So yeah.
Is Sarah tattooing yet?
No. So my wife took a break when she got pregnant.
So it's your fault.
She continued drawing and doing all that stuff, and now has been doing graphic design stuff for Petrol Box and a few other things. And she will be getting back into the swing of that as Wyatt gets older and we get in that whole rhythm. But for right now, that's just kind of on hold. And as we kind of figure out the whole parenthood thing.
Don't worry, it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything.
Nothing changes.
So far, not really.
It's like having a dog.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's really no different.
Yeah, so when I complain about being tired because I have 2 kids, it's the same thing as you.
It's exactly the same
thing.
There's no difference.
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a kid now. So,
cats don't count.
Cats don't count.
No, they take care of themselves.
The naked cat, he counts.
He has a sweater.
He's a lot.
He's got a sweater.
You have to bathe him.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Why do you have to bathe him?
he gets greasy, and then he'll leave like brown spots places.
Oh, gross.
What the?
But doesn't he wear a sweater?
Only when it's cold. Otherwise, he gets real hot.
I can't.
It's
imagine.
always cold. It's Ohio.
I can't get my head around owning a hairless cat.
Nick, when you come to Mid Ohio, stop by. You can hang out with him. I can bring him with me to Mid Ohio, so then you have a cat that sleeps on your chest that is
No, I'll
little
just
legs
bring
like
my
your
own cat if I want that.
Like he's little legs like your cat.
But then I have a cat with fur that I can pet and
he's so pettable. He's got like peach fuzz.
No.
Think of how soft your taint is. That's kind of like what he is.
I'm far too old to have peach fuzz there. Let's be real here. That's been peach fuzz since I was in my teens, man.
Oh,
Let's be real.
Anyway.
So, back to the bet.
Jesus.
Car podcast.
It's never been a car podcast.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you're going to get it where it's covered up by your boxers, is what we're getting at.
No. Boxers are real short, man.
Oh, okay.
We don't king shame.
Whitey tighties, man. Whatever you got to do. That's fine.
Absolutely not. That's too far. So the bet was the Corvette, the Datsun versus the Corvette. Realized very quickly I would have to travel a significant distance for that to be a thing. So my whole hope was, he didn't have any ice, and he didn't. He did not go racing. I don't. Not calling this. Ice race was canceled.
You should have been more specific.
Oh, I know. But either way, he still never agreed to the bet. He can't show me anywhere he did. But regardless, now the Datsun will be at, I think Midwest is the first grid lap I'll be at, as long as I make it in the lottery.
Yeah, you gotta win the popularity contest first.
No, it's random.
Oh, right.
It's a random lottery,
It's a random lottery.
I'm lucky at being randomly in the lottery. So who knows, maybe. But if I make it in the lottery, the Datsun will be there. It runs, but gets to come back apart because I bought a Tomei head gasket that is 1.2 millimeters, and after letting it run, I have some clearance issues.
Oh, no.
The head was decked, and I have lost some clearance.
Damn it.
Luckily, caught it like immediately. There's no way it did anything. It's just, and it wasn't even enough that's making noise or anything. It's just, we thought it looked close while assembling the engine, and then hand cranked it, and there was nothing. Once it got a little warmed up and stuff, it's so close. I'm not even sure if it's actually touching. It's just close enough. It's like, all right, I'm going to buy, they make a Tomei makes a 1.2, a 1.5, and like a 1.8 millimeter gasket. I'm just going to bump it up because it's close enough. I don't want to risk it. The head's the most expensive. All of that thing sucks to replace. The head, RB26 heads are expensive. And then I need a specific RB25 block, which I don't think I'd hurt the block unless something gets real crazy. But
yeah, you'd have to really fuck something up to hurt a block. You might bend a rod or put a hole in a piston or something like that.
I had to line hone it this off season.
Yeah, but the block should be fine. You're not going to put a hole in it.
You might. It happens.
Or if I have to line hone it some more,
happens,
it
Adam. It happens a lot.
Yeah, when you drop valves and stuff like that.
It happens.
But if you're just having some clearance issues,
It should be fine.
Yeah, but if I don't catch, if it's some clearance issues and I spin a rod because of the added stress on it, and then I chuck the rod, maybe I'm not as lucky when it chucks the bearing this time and the rod goes with it or something. Who knows? So I'm just being precautious and going to go with a new head gasket, which sucks because the Datsun's hood latch is on the firewall dead above the valve covers. And because I have ARP head studs, I can't lift the head straight up. I have to be able to lift the head straight up because of the head studs, but I can't do that because of the latch.
Yeah, the latch is not something you can remove.
It's either engine out or pull the studs out, take the head off, slide the gasket in place, put the head back in place, and then restab the studs.
That's a bad idea.
I've done it before. It's not
latch off the firewall.
It's spot welded to the firewall.
Oh, it's spot.
It's like I
suppose
a
you can't get to the back side
wedge.
of it because it's inside the cowl, which is not removable.
Correct.
So you couldn't just drill the spot welds out and then bolt it in.
Not particularly easily.
Without cutting other shit too.
Yeah, and it's interesting working on the Datsun, and I had a few spots under the battery tray I had to weld, and it's like the number one spot for them. Firewall at the battery tray. It is like welding pop cans together.
Oh, I'm sure.
The Barracuda, when they're like, "Oh, that's just surface rust. You don't have to worry about it." They're not joking because the Barracuda sheet metal is an eighth inch thick, or quarter inch thick steel.
America.
The Datsun is paper thin, and it's like, oh, that surface rust is actually just all the way through because there's only the surface there.
That's why it's so much lighter than the Barracuda.
The Barracuda, because of what year it is, that car from the factory's curb weight with the biggest engine you could get in it, which was a big block. No, it wasn't. It was I don't remember now. Shit. But, it's a 67 Barracuda, but you fully loaded with air conditioning, cruise control, power brakes, electric front seat and everything. It was still less weight than a fully optioned 350Z.
Jeez.
Yeah, that Barracuda.
That doesn't surprise me.
The modern safety stuff.
Because of all the crap that they've had to add to those cars. And the crash structures and stuff like that.
I'm really hoping that the Barracuda is ready to be on track at like 2,800 pounds with the cage in it.
We'll find out in 2030.
Yeah, for
oh yeah, it's super low priority for me right now.
Yeah, I'll say someone needs to make a bet with him about it.
Well, it was. Technically, I have everything to make it running, but it's not what I want anymore. Because originally, I bought that car to be just this lumpy cam, lazy, torquey
street bruiser.
Yeah, basically, just to do big old burnouts and be a jackass. But now
that sounds like a thing you would do.
Thanks to Dusty Nixon, I'm just racing an old car seems like a great idea. So it's caged, and the 440 iron block that I have for it and whatnot, and the 727 is going to go away. And I'll do something stupid like put a VQ and some turbos in it or something.
No, put a Barra in it. God damn it,
dude! Barras are so expensive.
It's a Barracuda.
I know. I have the Instagram handle Barracuda for a reason.
Oh, so good.
They're so expensive. There's
Says
so
the
many
guy with an
cheaper.
RB26.
Well, he's only got half of an RB26.
Well,
yeah, it's only half of an RB26. It's much cheaper that way.
And he's been telling us for years how easy it is to get parts for those things.
Yeah, you just get it. Who cares if they were never available?
The parts are easy.
In this day and age of the internet,
yeah, Amazon
parts are easy.
China
Raw brokerage and Juku, Z1, all of them.
Yeah, that sketchy website I bought that oil gutter from.
Yeah,
I had to have it translated on Google Chrome to English, and it worked.
Problem is that the Barra comes from Australia.
Oh, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, it's 50-50 on whether it even exists, but I don't know that you will be able to get parts for that like you can a Japanese car.
There's a
I bet there's
company or garage or whatever you want to call them in Michigan that I think her name's Amanda Greaves or something like that, but they've been importing shipments of Barras in, and the Barra you don't want, but it's still a Barra. It's still $3,000, just for the engine before you get any of the other pieces or the trans or anything like that.
That's an NA motor too, then, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's just, and the NA motor still holds boost well, but it's just
but it's not already.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm pretty sure
it's
you
an
can get them
expensive
as a
option.
turbo engine.
Yep.
It's like the
they're just lots of dollars.
Both. Yeah.
For the price of buying the Barra stuff and going that route, I could go to Copart, buy a Challenger, and Gen 3 Hemi swap it, which for resale value in the Mopar world is probably the right option, and ticks the box of having a V8 car. But I really think it'd be fun to upset boomers by just slamming a VQ in there.
I'm in on that too.
I don't want it to be a VQ though.
You don't want another trombone?
Why? Almost everything I own is VQ.
I know.
The S14.
I'm aware.
I have a VQ swapped S14. I have a VQ swapped S13. I have a 350Z. I just sold another 350Z. Might as well keep it going.
But I feel like there's more interesting engines you can do that aren't expensive that would still piss the boomers off.
K24.
Oh, just like everybody else.
Then I can do GLTC with it.
I mean, you can do GLTC with a VQ too.
That's fair. But I don't want to be back of the pack Bob like Robbie here.
I'd rather you do like a
the front end.
Like
yeah,
a
good luck with that.
What about a VK? Isn't that what they are? The V8 ones?
Yeah, those would be cool.
Chris
Forsberg's was sick.
I'd be more into that.
VK or like a VH45, which is like the 4.5 all aluminum. No. And you use like a Z32 trains on those.
See, I'd be more into that. That would be cooler.
I'm not against that. But I ended up with a 600 horsepower VQ that I could do stuff with.
And we all know you're just going to stuff it into a wall and ruin it anyway. So
we should definitely talk about that.
Let's finish the bet. Yep. Let's finish the con. Then we'll talk about his other shenanigans.
So Dalton will loosely won the bet, and I'm going to live up to my side of the bargain. I'm going to get the tattoo. I was trying to convince him that he should also, because we both technically lost. Because
he said he was going to.
He won't, but we'll see. I'll set it up for Mid Ohio weekend with my tattoo artist if he's gonna do it. But no, I give him full props that he abuses that Corvette, and I'm glad to see him take it off some sweet jumps. And so it took a while for me to believe he was actually going to do it. You know, I was like, oh, he's studding the tires to do it on the Camaro, or he's studding someone else's tires, or he's going to do this, or someone said they could drive his car, their car. If
I never once doubted that it would be anything but the Corvette, because Dalton has zero sympathy for that car. Yeah. Like it means nothing to him.
I know, but it's Dalton. I don't know. I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, my buddy Kyle said I could drive his car if I had tires for it or something. I don't know.
I just feel like you don't give Dalton enough credit for coming through on a thing.
Oh yeah, no, I give him credit on that. The second I saw the plate on the radio, I was like, "Oh shit, this is happening."
Because he was texting me through like weeks into it. He's like, "Nah, he's not really doing it, is he? Do you think he's really going to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, if he's going this far,
oh yeah,
it's happening for sure."
If you'd have texted me, I'd have been like, "Dude, there's not a chance he doesn't do this."
After making the deal, I was like, my only hope, because even no matter how done my car is, it won't be I'm not traveling south. I'm not going to try to find somewhere to go south.
You're not going to drive down to Dallas and do a track day with Dusty in
I have to go pretty far, yeah. And I wasn't going to do that. So my only hope was that there was not going to be any ice. And technically, we all saw how that turned out.
Yeah, but if he really wanted to stick it to you, or you really wanted to stick it to him about it, there's a group in Minnesota that's actually, I think, closer than where he went to in Wisconsin that did one last weekend, and I think is doing another, they've done 4 or 5 events this year that he could have gone to. So it's not like he had a lack of opportunity if he really needed to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and so I'm glad he did it, and it is what it is. I mean,
that's such a fucking epic picture. I just love it so much.
Is that the Corvette in the air?
In the air.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so good. So good. Full props to him. I don't even feel bad about losing. Like that was good.
Yeah.
I will give him credit. Him and Ryan are detectives. Like Dalton was on like Snapchat looking at random people's Snapchats that I guess just put them out publicly in the area that I was, so he could see what the background looked like.
Yeah. Because Ohio does have, for being not really any farther south than we are, not remarkably anyway, you guys have a remarkably different weather pattern than we do.
It's because, where I live is we're in a valley. It's Ohio Valley region. Like
Right.
our SCCA is OVR.
Right.
We're down in a pocket. I mean, like our weather is real weird compared to like Cleveland, where they get lake effect snow and stuff like that, versus like here versus Cincinnati. It is like even Cincinnati gets more snow and Cleveland gets more snow, and they're one south of us, one's north of us.
Right.
Like we get really weird weather here.
Like
in the
you don't get nearly as cold as we do.
No, not
most
at all.
of the time. Actually, I don't even know that you get as hot as we do in the summer.
The hottest we'll see, we'll hang out in the mid 90s.
I mean, we get into the hundreds for a week or
Pretty
two.
consistently, yeah.
Yeah.
We may see 1 or 2 days this summer, maybe that where it's actually 100, not like the feels like or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're not as big a swing as you guys are on that.
So that made us think like, well, like I don't know, maybe their trees are different. We
have
that's where we were
flowers like sprouting. Like,
we were trying
like
to figure
the
out
tulips and stuff are like
know.
sprouting in my yard right now.
Yeah, that's definitely not a thing here.
No,
I know. I was there. There's inches of snow on the ground.
Well, up where Dalton is, there's not any snow here anymore, except in like
true.
Shaded areas or places where it was piled.
Yeah,
we
have
small chance, but there's still a chance we might see snow tomorrow.
There's buds on the trees here and stuff, but I mean, last year it did the same thing. It killed my magnolia. I have a huge magnolia tree in my yard, and it thought it was springtime, so it started budding, and then it froze again, and it killed everything. I was like, lame. There goes my beautiful tree for the year.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was the problem we were struggling with. Was like, is the video that you sent? It was kind of hard to tell if it was just that you have a different climate or if it was bullshit. Because I think that was probably done in the fall, wasn't it?
That was actually done in spring.
Was it the spring?
Of 2018.
Okay. But like then you sent the picture of the car on the trailer and we're like, this is bullshit. You're a lying sack of shit.
Yeah, the car on the trailer went a little too far. And what's funny is the car on the trailer is the last time I drove the car. That was
2019.
Being rescued from it breaking, leaving the neighborhood.
I didn't realize at the time. That's even more hilarious. That's the picture you chose to send was when it was broken down.
Yeah. So,
its final ride.
Yeah, not anymore. She's doing stuff. There's still a few things I need to handle for me to be safe on track. The fuel cell's aluminum. There was just some jegs aluminum cell that's getting replaced for a proper one with a because it's in the spare tire wall and the hatch. It's getting a firewall, but like a low profile one, so I don't lose any rear view. And the harness bar, I got DOM for and are making like a 4-point rear cage, and just some odds and ends, and then it will be going to the shop to get corner balanced, and it got all new arms from Apex Engineered. That this car is going to be a whole different kind of car to drive. I'm real excited about it. Big front splitter.
Does it just have Hot Boy coilovers on it, or does it have something decent?
It's got BCs.
Okay.
I wasn't even sure who made coilovers for those.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody makes like a real good. Somebody's got to make like a racing coilover because it was a popular race car.
Yeah, but they didn't have like good coilovers when they were racing it.
No, but someone's got to make like a.
You're doing like Kikos or Conies and like springs. You're not doing a proper coilover.
I suppose
right.
Until you're spending like big boy dollars. I'm sure James has got some nice setup on his.
Like that.
But
I don't think James has anything crazy on his because his is just a street car.
Yeah, his isn't a race car.
Yeah, and like the front coilovers, you have to weld to the spindles. Like you cut the spindle because the strut mount and knuckle are one piece. So you cut it like 2 or 3 inches up. You slip your new one on. You slip the BC on, and then you weld it.
Oh,
like you preheat the cast and weld it.
So is it? Oh, that sounds so sketchy.
That sounds
so easy to do wrong.
No, so they have it. So the original piece is like this. The knuckle that with the spindle that you would have put like the wheel hub on and everything.
Right.
And cast into that is a tube that would have been the housing for the original struts.
Right.
And that's, 16 inches long or some a foot long.
Right.
You cut that down like to 4 inches tall and you slide it up into the coilover. It's like almost a press fit. And then once that's fit, you weld all the way around the circumference. So not only is it a slip fit for a couple inches, but then you weld it.
Right, but like in order to do that properly, you have to preheat it and all that stuff. That sounds really easy to not do well and have a weak weld.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm confident enough in who I had do it.
Right, yeah, I don't... But like, I suppose those cars aren't exactly... they're not like bottom dollar Miata prices. So I suppose the people getting a hold of those, by and large, are a little bit smarter than that.
On top of that plus the cost of just the coilovers to begin with. Yeah.
Right.
And now Techno Toy, who actually I got my harness bar from, but they do all sorts of awesome suspension stuff for Datsuns, old Toyotas, they like A86s and stuff like that. I think they do a billet piece now that is all like they sell you the whole coilover. You have to send cores in when you buy yours, but like they do a whole thing and just here you go. Here's your front end's $1,800, but here you go.
Oh, so it's
and the
already,
back end's a whole nother price.
It's already done.
Yeah, and so they offer that, but I went BC and did it myself.
Is the rear end anything weird, or is that just a regular IRS coilover?
It has IRS. It doesn't have a rear subframe. It has a bunch of pieces that kind of lock together to make a subframe. It's complete horseshit.
All right,
so you have
fair
like
enough.
you have a mustache bar that holds the snout of the diff up, like on a long nose R200. It holds the front of the diff up to the bottom of the body.
Okay.
Where that pinches to the bottom of the body, that is the mount, the front mount for your A arm. Your lower control arm is an A arm.
Okay.
So that's your front mount. It pinches the A arm there. That is also typically a centric bolt, so you can adjust it like a Miata.
Okay.
And then you have at the back of the diff, you have what they call the wishbone that goes laterally across it, kind of a mustache bar. Goes laterally across it, parallel to like the back of the car. And you have two drop downs that it bolts to that are just stamped sheet metal. And then you have these little caps, and the caps are what bolts the back of the A-frame to those pieces as well. So you have all these individual pieces that are replaceable with billet pieces and all these things,
Yeah,
but they
Robbie's
all
pulled
interlock
up a picture
together.
that's all tubular and fancy.
Yeah, mine is.
Yeah.
Mine is all Apex engineered stuff, but it's like they're all individual pieces. It's not like, an S13 or 3Z that here's your subframe. You bolt your diff to it, you bolt all of your arms to it, and you bolt it in the car.
Right.
These all kind of bolt to each other, and some of them bolt to the car, some of them bolt to the diff, and it all just kind of hangs there. If you want to, take your diff out, you're going to lose your alignment.
Yep.
Because you have to take the A arms off, and your A arms will hold your alignment in the rear.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Look at the angle of those coilovers.
Yeah. They're like
It's like a 45-degree angle.
damn near, it looks like.
How? What? That's aggressive because mine are straight up for the coilover.
It does not look like they're
It's not straight up on this picture.
It sure don't look like it anyway.
Oh, can't see it.
Yeah.
But what's cool is if you sometime, Robbie, you're bored and want an engineer boner, you should go to Apex Engineered's website for Datsuns.
Yep.
They do a
That's
push
where
rod
we're at,
rear.
actually. This is an Apex Engineered,
Yeah.
the one he's got pulled up.
Is it
So,
the track attack rear coilovers where they're in the hatch?
I mean,
Sure.
maybe.
I don't
No,
know.
the coilovers are under the car.
Oh,
It's not a cantilever system.
They make a cantilever for the rear where the coilovers go up
crazy.
in the hatch.
That's what you need.
It is sick.
So I'm fairly certain
It'll
that
be
that's just
$4,000.
hot boy shit and isn't actually like significantly better unless you're doing something like Will did where he moved his coilovers into his trunk so he could have a crazy tunnel under that car.
Right.
But like,
I mean, it would give me a lot more room for tire and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, other cool things.
yeah, I suppose tire.
It's super neat.
It looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm about it. Don't get me wrong.
They make a lot of neat stuff.
Cantilever suspension is awesome, but I don't think it's like a performance improvement by itself.
Yeah, that's fair. It'd probably get in the way of my fuel cell as well, which wouldn't be great. But, is what it is. But the Datsun will be ready. It's ready for everything but grid life. I would autocross it, but I wouldn't. Now that I'm a father, I don't have to worry about more than just myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Real buzzkill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think about things differently now.
Oh, dude, so much. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I think back to, Tommy trying to kill me, and it's just like, man, not only was I super close to not being okay, but like I was super close to not being here for my kid, which is,
I think
weird.
you're pushing that a little far.
No, all it takes is one hit on the head.
I mean, I guess, but still.
So yes and no.
I mean,
That was the one you bailed on?
Your drive to work is probably more dangerous.
More people die on golf carts at Road America or Atlanta, Road Atlanta
than on the
they've
racetrack.
ever driven on the
I
track.
get that. I understand that, but still.
The problem is that I landed on my head at that speed. Like, I had scabs from like my eyebrow up the side of my head all the way wrapping behind my ear. And like I landed on my neck and shoulder, and it's like the wrong kind of, and it's just,
it was a nasty fall.
I mean, sure.
It was like my knee is still basically just one big scar. Like, I have like a 2-inch diameter purple circle on my knee for forever. Like,
that's just getting old. That's just because you're getting old. Welcome to your 30s.
It was a good fall, and
I mean, sure,
not to be dramatic, but it's.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but like thinking back on it, being like, man, I could have died there. That seems a little extreme.
I would argue against that because I
might think about it once, but I'm not going to dwell on it.
No, I'm not saying dwell on it.
Clearly has, because he's brought this up more than once.
But I mean, you got it. I mean, he seriously could have. I mean,
I could have died on my way here too.
It's the same thing as that story they tell about like in California they had that anti-helmet parade for motorcycles.
Yeah,
and the dude fell over at parade speeds, which is basically fucking walking speeds, and hit his head on the ground and died.
I know,
completely
but
ruined the whole point of the parade.
I could have had a semi run me over and kill me on my way here too.
Of course, but he actually did have an accident.
Hanging out with Tommy isn't any more dangerous than driving to work.
You can't tell me you don't have a few moments in your life that you're just like, man, I almost could have got like I hit a deer in a Mini Cooper at allegedly 80 to 90ish miles an hour.
I wouldn't be that worried about that either.
And I wasn't that worried about it until the next day when I went to go get my stuff out of the car and realized, the front of the car was gone like you would expect. I hit a large deer hard enough that it knocked the antlers clean off of it. Like, they
do that by rubbing against trees. It's not that big a deal.
Depending on part of the season, yeah. But like, I was like, oh yeah, the front of the car is gone like you'd expect. But when I went to go get the stuff, the right behind the driver door obliterated because the deer spun around and smacked the side of the car, and it's like, it was bad. I was like, Jesus Christ, that could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, but you can't control that. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but it doesn't mean you can't look back and go, that was close.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Not all of us were daredevil skaters.
Yeah, stuff like that doesn't register with me as much as it does with a lot of other people.
That's fair.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm I want to see my kid grow up and be here. So
I do too, and that's why
approaching things a little bit differently. I
wanted to quit climbing towers and stuff like that, is because it was and disclaimer: climbing towers under a perfectly OSHA legal system is probably just as safe as anything I do day to day, because you basically have to do something wrong yourself to get killed. But
yeah.
It can't happen.
I didn't necessarily work in a place that was super up to date on their tower climbing regulations.
Allegedly.
And so I've there's quite a few situations where I probably, if I'd have fallen, I'd have been dead for sure. But that's why I quit doing that stuff. But
You can't overthink it, dude. You're really dwelling on it. You can't.
no, I'm not. Though I'm really not. So I don't know.
Yeah. So he
He
lied.
was trying to make Tommy feel bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fair.
Smoochy poochie.
I like that you just said smoochy poochie. Unless someone's watching, they have no idea
fucking clue what he's talking
That's fine.
about.
They'll know what I'm talking about. E-Man's got a dog. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
We're 6. I don't
Tried
know.
to bite. He tried to bite Robbie.
No, I moved too fast. I startled him.
Speaking of which, I passed Yancey's test. Yancey's a fan of me.
I don't understand what Booty's problem is with Yancey.
Yeah, I let him outside when they were here, and yeah, it was cool with everybody.
That's because he's not that big a deal.
I even physically saw Kyle. I saw him. I didn't get to pet him, but I saw him.
Kyle greeted me at the door today.
Yeah, he does that.
He really likes me.
Yeah, he does.
I'm probably his 3rd favorite person.
Maybe.
I'm sticking with it. I'm definitely his 3rd favorite person. Behind you and Jess.
Yeah, probably.
I like that you had to clarify.
So.
Yeah, so I saw E-Man last week
Yep.
because he drove.
I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, you were busy doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was, too. Don't get it
that's the
twisted.
picture I forgot.
Don't get it twisted. There was nothing. There was. I literally did nothing last
He had
week.
no plans. He
Nope.
just wasn't. He just wasn't there.
Nope. I'm not embarrassed to
that's
admit that.
that's what he does.
So
It's my goal most every weekend, yeah.
So
I fail miserably at it, but it is my goal.
Here's what happened. So E-Man had a 350Z, brought it to a few grid lives,
Crashed it at a couple drift.
brought it
meets.
to a drift event, crashed it, fixed it, brought it to a drift event, crashed
Crashed it again.
crashed
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And then he's like, you know what? I've crashed it a couple times. Now
I should sell it to somebody.
I should sell it to a
to
friend.
some sorry sap.
Yeah.
Hey, I fixed it a bunch of times for him. And Robbie, I sent you two pictures I forgot to send you.
Trevor listens to this too, so I'm going to get shit for this, but I'm going to make fun of E-Man for selling a car he wrecked more than once, so it's just part of the game.
But and Robbie, I got roped in on this, and because I wanted, getting it out there and stuff. I talked to Rob. It was talking to Robbie about it and stuff, and talking to Trevor about it because Trevor had questions, and
Trevor's tried to buy more than one car from you.
yeah, he was interested in the S2000. I'm glad he didn't buy it. Derek King ended up buying that, and then it exploded, and I felt terrible about it. But Derek and I when it comes to selling cars, especially to people I know, I go so far to make sure that they know every single thing about the car, and I try to make it as perfect as I can for them.
Right.
The 3Z going to Trevor, I mean, I wanted to keep a few pieces for another car I bought, which we'll get to. But I wanted to make sure it was perfect for him. I took to my body shop guy. I sent pictures of it to my body shop guy. He's like, yeah, $500. And I told Trevor that, and I was like, hey, my guy can do it for this if your guy, if you think your guy's going to be too expensive. I took it to him, and he's like, well, now that I'm looking at it, it's going to be, closer to this number. And I was like, that's fine. I'll pay the difference. I already told Trevor this number. I'll cover the rest. It's fine. I want to make sure it's right for him. And it's the same thing with, the last wreck, which Robbie has a picture of it sitting against the wall.
Yeah.
That is the last time it was wrecked. It broke some front steering stuff, and I replaced that. And while in there, noticed some other things, and just went ahead, took care of those, and just kind of continued on that path of making it as whole a car and as correct a car as I could for them. And got an alignment rack, made sure everything was, everything major was taken care of, and even, volunteered to drive it out to him because we were going to meet in Chicago. And then I was like, I know you're busy with stuff and all tied up, I'll bring it out to you. Robbie, in the meantime, had found a sweet Corvette race car bed for my son.
I'm a little jealous of it, honestly. My kid's too old for it, and I'm not going to...
Is he?
I don't think so.
I mean, no, but also yes.
I'm gonna paint the shit orange and put a spoiler on it in Iowa Man Racing.
And there's no way that Katie would let me put my daughter in that because she like very desperately wants me not to ruin her. She wants it. She wants on my
Kid never had a chance.
She wants our daughter to be the like dress up, play princess, do tea party girl.
No, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, dude.
But so far, she's daddy's little girl.
She's gonna shotgun tea at racetracks.
Yeah, we're gonna have her shotgun and high C boxes in no time at racetracks.
Yeah,
but she's definitely gonna be a car girl, which is gonna be a problem.
Well, I posted in the group chat with all of us. When that popped up on my Facebook, and I actually posted it for you.
Yeah,
I was like, Adam, I found the.
No, I think didn't you share it for Dalton because it's a C6?
Oh, I did say it. Yeah, it was for Dalton.
Like, Dalton, we found your bed. And like literally the only reason Dalton doesn't own it is because it's not big enough.
Which is fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then, so Eman immediately responds with, no, seriously, go get that.
Yeah.
So I texted him and picked it up, and like, apparently I was like one of like 5 people, and they're like, well, I'm available from 10 to whenever. And I'm like, I'll be there at 10.
Yeah.
So showed up with cash, put it in the back of the truck, and like, kind of made it obvious I didn't have kids, but like at the same time didn't tell them that it wasn't like I was just
I'm just buying it.
I was just like because they made like his
kid was being really awkward, wasn't he?
His kid. So I show up, and I back into because they're clearly moving like that. Like
we're not sure his kid knew it was getting sold.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, I didn't know this.
So the bed is in the garage, and I back up and I'm kind of like. I text him like I'm here, so I kind of start grabbing like the smaller pieces. Like it's got like the dresser that comes with it, and like the centerpiece that the mattress is supposed to sit on. So I put that in the back seat of the truck, and I'm waiting for them to come out. And and the kid comes out and he goes, "What do you do with my bed?" And I was like, "Well, I bought it. It's going to somebody else now. What are you doing with my bed?" And then the dad's like, "You're getting a new bed. He's taking it. What do you do with my bed?" Yeah, asked me like, I bet 10 times by the time I left. What are you doing? What do you do with my bed? I'm loading it. Now what are you doing?
You ruined this kid's life.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think he was ready for that thing to be gone. But yeah, it was for sure leaving.
It's going to a good home now.
Well, it's going to a home.
Wow. But wow. That
the funny thing was too, I brought it home and put it at the shop just to get it out of the way. And Jess comes home and I'm in the shop. She goes, "What's that?"
It's part of my new racing sim.
It would have worked perfectly.
You should have told her that. It would have been the best.
I thought about it too, because you just take out the centerpiece and you put the sim right in the middle.
Yeah. Anybody who's listening to this has thought about that. Anybody who's listening to this has thought about doing that. How funny would it be to buy a car bed and turn it into a racing sim?
Well, so my son's 3 months old. So
if you don't do it, you're wasting our time.
I mean, my sim rig's right behind me. I can do this.
Make it happen.
Yeah. At least do it for a little while.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
I will.
Bet he won't.
You're right. I got too many other things to do.
Fair.
But no, I drove the 350Z out there. All like Robbie's 10 hours from me. Unload the 350Z, or no, I just dropped off the trailer and hopped back in my truck and headed to Sheldon, Iowa.
The great town of.
No, you said
not anymore. Now it's just. Oh no! What was the sign?
A really nice place.
Yeah, really nice.
A really nice place, Robbie.
They took down that because of Dalton.
That's definitely not why they took it down.
It's because it really isn't.
It's because literally nobody thought that was a good slogan.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not.
Whether it was factual or not, it's not a good slogan. It's a really dumb thing to say.
I got to see the home Robbie was raised in, and some wonderful senior pictures, which if you guys would like to see them, I will post them in the group.
They're on my Facebook. If you're friends with me, they're still there.
Also, half the pictures you sent us were his brother.
One picture.
So...
one picture. But so got to meet his parents' cats, but his parents were gone.
I don't think I've ever met Robbie's parents either.
Yeah.
I really wanted to.
I feel like
just 'cause
I've
I'm
only
curious.
maybe met your mom.
Probably.
Oh,
I don't know if I've ever met your dad.
They were at.
I don't know. It's
They were
been
at one of the
years.
skate. Actually, they were both at the skate competition. You broke your arm.
Yeah, but I probably didn't meet them. I was busy with a broken arm.
Not the. You didn't start the day with a broken arm. You ended it.
Well, I mean, most people don't start a day with a broken arm
Typically not. No.
unless they ended the day before.
I mean,
Yeah.
you started the next day with a broken arm.
Yes, but I ended the day before with it. It's expected. You don't like wake up and be like, man, my arm is sore today.
This thing's broken.
I think I slept real hard last night.
We don't
Unless you
seem-
sleepwalk, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you fell down your stairs and broke your arm. I don't know.
But and then we, Casey's breakfast pizza is an absolute
Hell
must.
yeah, bro.
At 10
And-
o'clock at night. So I went to Sioux Falls and hung out with Josh on Saturday. And
Yeah, I
I'm
figured.
coming back. And he's like,
Did you see your nemesis?
I went to his house.
Did you go to your nemesis's house?
Yes.
Nice.
I didn't see him.
Did you put a sticker on his
I
house?
put 2 stickers. I was going to put stickers like on things.
Yeah.
But I don't appreciate when people put stickers on my shit.
No, that's fair.
So I didn't actually stick them to anything.
Just like-
I just slid a couple 10 Tenths podcast stickers under the windshield
What
wiper.
about 10 Tenths podcast?
No, I'm scared of that thing. I won't slap that on somebody. It's got 1,000% kill or 100% kill rate.
You're not wrong. Anyway,
Yeah. Midnight.
Oh, but yeah,
Or,
So he texts me as I'm driving back from Sioux Falls, which is like 5 o'clock.
right.
He goes, "You want to meet at your place and we can drop everything off, then go to Dalton's?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was planning on being at Dalton's around like 6, 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
and so he's not at that time isn't going to get there till like 8.
Okay.
All right, I'll wait till 8. We didn't get to Shell till like 10:30.
That sounds like E-Man.
yeah.
sounds like you,
But
man.
we stop. We got Casey's. We get to the shop. It is everything you would expect Dalton's homemade garage to be.
Is it awesome?
It's huge, dude.
It's so big.
It's
isn't
huge. The remnants of his old garage in it is perfect.
It? Except he's going to tear it all out.
We get there and it is just quite the scene of small town Iowans doing things. We won't get into that. This is not a Patreon episode.
Yes, it is.
I don't care.
I mean, that one guy getting drug out of the car and bouncing off the ground was rough.
So there's a guy there that was like stumbling drunk.
Yeah.
Like
He looked like Jack
hunched,
Sparrow.
hunched over
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
And he was that way from when we got there to like midnight.
Could he talk?
Sort of.
Really?
He wanted to.
He grunted.
Yeah, he was talking at people. But like
And
he was like
I have a 30-second video of him trying to figure out how to get in the driver door of
No,
the Corvette.
you have a minute and a half video of him trying to get into
That's fair.
So then-
Corvette.
he can't figure it out, and then he crawls in on the other side, the passenger side of Dalton's car, which that's where he has his ABS and all his like wiring and shit.
I think his oil sump.
His oil sump's there, and I'm like,
His fire suppression.
that too.
That would have been a bad day.
So like he's climbing in there. I'm going, there's no way this car's going to start after he's done crawling on all these wires.
Especially
This is
Dalton's
a fucking
wiring.
rat nest.
Be lucky
And
if it
then-
doesn't burn to the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Lucas had to handle it.
Lucas goes and takes him and just yanks him out by his feet, and he's too drunk to like brace himself. But then
He lands hard and bounces. It's rough.
But he gets up shortly thereafter and he's fine. And then he texts out the next day and asks if they're having beers. So
Well, but it's because I'm pretty sure that that's his natural state at least 2 or 3 nights a week.
scary.
It is rough.
And then Chris,
to prove the car still ran, Dalton hops
Is
in.
that what
shit.
that was about?
no, because when I rolled up, I took the spot right in front of the garage door. And the
Okay.
reason it was open was because someone had just moved their car to back Lucas's truck up so they could hook up a tow strap to the Corvette so he could do a big smoky burnout.
Okay.
So I get in. That's the first thing we're
Real
talking
man
about.
just brake stand.
It just pushed. It doesn't. There's not enough traction with the front tires on the newly polished cement.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that's said to me, that they're going to do a burnout, and then they close the door and they don't do it.
Okay.
So then the whole time, I'm like, well, I'm giving Dalton shit. That
Obviously.
I showed up for a burnout.
You gonna let Ben show you up like that?
Yep. These are things I said.
Oh, good.
And then,
I'm glad.
And then finally, Eman was there to help me also coax him into this.
I feel like it shouldn't have been that much effort. Or is it just because there's so much stuff going on that he's
Probably.
distracted?
I think he was distracted.
Distracted.
Okay.
So he gave him enough shit. He hooks it up and does cold engine. Like just fires it up
and straight to red line.
So he fires it and it dies first.
Well,
and then he fires
it's an E85 car and
up.
it's not cold. It's not warm out. So yeah.
And he fires it up, and I'm standing behind the remnants of the post for his old garage door, and dead in front of the car, because I thought that would be the best angle for a video, right?
Yeah.
And it's it is a Jack and King stud, 2x10, and then a few more posts, and it's like, this is sturdy. It's fine. I'll stand behind it. I have my arm out to the side, square up the video, and he fires it up, and he starts rowing into it. Limiter first gear, bang, second gear, limiter, bang, third gear, limiter, bang, fourth gear, limiter. I was like, he's in fourth on limiter. So
I didn't realize he was shifting through gears and shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. By the time I heard him click out of third into fourth, I'm like, I'm going to move to the side. This is a terrible idea. And bang fifth, bang sixth. He was on limiter in sixth gear, which, according to him, that would have been wheel speed about 167.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
During a burnout.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, it looked like it was so cloudy in there.
It was a really impressive burnout.
And you're
for those of you
around.
that haven't seen it, I posted it in our Facebook group.
I also posted my angle of it.
Yes.
And then there's another video of Chris, who has been a part of Patreon content. It's just like line dancing by himself. Like he didn't just see this burnout. Like he was oblivious the burnout even happened. He's like, oh, it's foggy in here, and just kept dancing.
He's busy.
Yeah. It's like by the time we got there to about the time we left, he was practicing line dancing to the punk music they were playing the whole time.
By himself.
Real garbage punk too.
Yeah.
I love Danny, don't get me wrong.
But yeah, it's punk, like proper punk music.
Yeah.
And
he's just
Chris is just practicing line dancing by like just chill.
I mean, that's how he slays the ladies, man.
Oh, and like
I made that exact
up.
comment to Dalton.
Now I see why he's had sex with your mom and your sister.
Yes. I said that exact statement.
Yep. A bunch of times.
I don't question it.
And like he's got like his hands up and he's like dancing and like doing his steps and like you see him like pause and think about what he's gonna do. And then he's back into it. And he's like, all right, he's feeling himself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I have
every
like
time
three different videos of just like turning around and like, oh, he's still going.
Every time a girl would walk into the shop that I didn't recognize, I'm like, they're here for Chris. They're obviously here for Chris.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they?
They have to be.
Why wouldn't they be? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So yeah, he drove all the way from Ohio, and I drove up for it. I think I was maybe there 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was enough.
Yeah, that was definitely enough.
That was the other thing is that, like, as much as I love Dalton, I don't know that I could handle that many people.
It was a decent amount of people.
There wasn't that.
I mean, it wasn't packed.
It's not that there's too many people. It's that there's too many inebriated people.
Yes.
There's a lot of that.
What was
and
I said I thought for sure it was getting shut down between having two bands and then just being a Dalton party
and a burnout.
Yeah, nothing. Not even a hint of a police officer or a noise complaint. Anything.
Well,
the police didn't show up when he shot the gun out the garage door the first time I was there.
Yeah, but that was just one gunshot. That's not really that.
They're not going to show up
it
for
was,
one.
There was two or three. I'd have to go back and figure that out.
I mean,
two
sure,
or three.
But that's not a band.
The police would show up here if there was a few gunshots.
I bet they wouldn't.
I know they would.
Prove it.
I live in a nice area.
That's because they're worried. That's because you're a degenerate and they just assume that you're up to no good.
Yeah, maybe. I have enough driveway for shenanigans.
Dalton owns enough of the town that they just let him do his thing.
It's 0.1%. I did the math.
He owns 0.1% of all the households in Sheldon.
Yeah.
1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to step it up. I want to see him on 1%.
He could be a real 1%er then.
But no, then we drive back, and we get a nice early start after patching my sidewall of my truck tire, because that's the safe thing to do.
It was technically part of the tread still.
Ish.
Yeah.
Drive back to Cumming, which I'm really upset that you're exit 64 and you're not exit 69.
Yeah,
exit 69's DMAC.
Yeah, I know.
It's true.
Which, I mean, DMAC sounds like a porn star
Center.
anyways, and it's exit 69, so that's kind of funny. But
that's not just any DMAC; it's the Innovation Center.
Yep, it's a big one.
I don't know. It's just DMAC, which you see a
Des Moines
video
Area
Amber
Community
DMAC.
DMAC is definitely a male porn star name.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. He's pounding Amber.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
But that's Mr. Seibold. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Seibold?
Yep.
Seibold. Showed up. We unloaded the 350Z, pulled it into the shop.
Then he janks the ECU out of it. It's like, well, good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Sucks
I don't
to
know
suck.
why. I drove it out. I pulled the seats out of it before I left Ohio and drove it into the trailer sitting on the floor, which is extremely hard to do by yourself because you can't see out of the car. And then I left the ECU in it so I could drive it out of the trailer. And then I pulled it up to the nose of Robbie's garage and then yanked the ECU out.
Didn't even bring it inside?
No, we had to push it inside.
What a prick.
No, but then we put the ECU back in it to shimmy it over in the garage.
That sounds like something a jerk that lied about a bet would do.
Oh, here, I got one for you. So, he's got like a pile of, we'll get there, because he bought this other 350Z that he's going to save.
And crash into a wall.
Yeah, so he's got these parts, and he's like, I got these 2-piece Willwood rotors. Do you want them? Sure. I got whatever, some other
that
stuff.
I gave you for free.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Are they here?
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, I thought they weren't here.
They're here. And then also he goes, I got this Hall Tech that came with this car.
It's plug and play.
So it's got the harness, it's got the Hall Tech. It's like a piggyback system, but not really. I looked into this. I got it all figured out.
Right.
And then he sends me a picture as he's leaving. This is the picture. So it is.
That's not.
It is the Hall Tech harness and the stock ECU, and I respond with, "Where Hall Tech?" There never was a Hall Tech.
Oh, that never existed?
It's just a fucking harness.
So you don't actually have it.
No, I just got the harness.
You don't have it.
No. So,
but I thought that he told you that he had it, but he wasn't sure it worked, and so you even had contacted Hall Tech already.
I looked into it, but I hadn't contacted them.
When I got the car,
do you ever tell
we'll cross
truths?
that bridge,
or is everything that you say a lie?
We'll get to the Hall Tech stuff when we get to that part of the story. But the 350Z is parked in his shop, and I got my goodbye picture. I meant to post that on Instagram. I was going to steal Robbie's goodbye partner, but Robbie's shop's got an extra 350Z.
Robbie, what's
now.
that bit of green there in the corner?
What are you talking about? That could be anything.
Wait, did I get your car in it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch.
Ah.
That's okay. I guess it's fine.
When are we going to debut this fucking thing already?
My fucking vinyl would show up.
You told me
I thought it was
6 weeks ago that I was going to get to see it in 4 weeks, Robbie.
And I meant it.
I've patiently been waiting.
I can confirm it is not done. It is close, but it's not done.
I have all the decals except for the ones that I actually had to have printed, and that's been 3 weeks already. So
those aren't even this year's decals.
Oh, I'm more annoyed by that than I want to admit.
It's rude.
But
it's rude.
But Trevor's excited about the car. He sent my wife and I a very nice note thanking us for bringing it out.
He is beyond ecstatic about it. I can confirm that.
He's such a nice guy, and
one of the nicest people. Yes,
he brought me a bunch of Iowa beers to bring home and stuff.
Yep.
Of different, a 6-pack of his favorites, like random ones, and then like a 6-pack of a real popular one there. So
He asked me what you liked. I'm like, well, he's real bougie, so.
And he's a hipster,
Yep.
so dark IPAs probably.
That's literally what I said.
Dark IPAs.
I just said IPAs.
Well, see, the problem is
I don't fucking know. Don't even go there.
I do not like IPAs.
How many
I
IPAs?
like stouts. I like lagers.
Can you have a dark IPA? Because doesn't the P stand for pale? Can you have a dark IPA?
Yes,
I don't fucking know.
India Pale Ale is IPA.
Yeah.
Can you have a dark?
I mean, I guess they're not necessarily a dark IPA, but I
don't know these things. Or
It's just-
care.
it's- it's an extremely
I like
hoppy
dark,
beer.
like
Scott is
stouts
so
and
mad at me
porters.
right now.
I like stouts and porters, and then cheap shitty beer like PBR.
Cheap Stones.
But because he is so hyped on these and they're his favorite, I'm definitely gonna try them all. And beer's beer, and I'm sure I'll like some of
I'm
them.
sure you got a pseudo Sue in there somewhere.
no,
No,
he didn't get one of
It's
those.
literally the only local-ish beer I know of. I think it's local.
But
Ish.
I don't have the slightest clue. I'm a real
I'm
drinker.
excited to try 'em
Everybody
all.
knows this.
I'm excited to try them all. They're not something I would order. Most of them are not something I would order, but definitely gonna try them all. Definitely excited, and definitely it was a nice gift. So I appreciated that big time. Super Iowa nice.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't
I'm
surprised
excited
at
for
all.
him.
Trevor's from Sheldon. He's good people.
He's one of the few good ones that got out. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that supposed to mean, Ravi?
You can mean whatever you want to mean.
take it how you want, bud.
He's up on his high horse. He came from fucking Hull
Yeah.
Hey, Hall's a nice place.
It is.
to
It's a
get
nice
drugs.
place.
Ravi,
No, Sheldon's a nice place to get drugs. Everybody knows that.
that's a small town
Fair.
thing. Every small town thinks that the next small town over is where you get the drugs. Because in my world, you got the drugs from Sanborn, which is the next town after you go through Sheldon. If you're leaving Hull and heading that direction, you hit Sheldon, and that all the Sheldonites believe that Sanborn's where you get the drugs. It's just a
You
thing.
just get the drugs from Dalton.
And I'm quite certain that all the people in Sanborn thought that Hartley was where you went to get the drugs. It's a thing we do in small town Iowa. It's
That's
fine.
probably
Don't worry about it.
more accurate than I want to admit.
Boyden thinks that Hull's where you get all the drugs. It's fine.
Well, you don't get anything in Boyden.
Syphilis, maybe, but that's about it.
No, you get that in Sheldon.
you get that in Sheldon as well.
Well, you got that from Spencer. Everybody knows that Spencer is where the AIDS problem was. That was a common knowledge in my high school.
Spencer was gonna be
Everybody
just
knew
like
that.
a singular person. Like Jesus, you just put someone on blast. Not it's actually a place.
It's a
I
town.
thought you were just like
That's
this
like
guy,
one of the larger
Spencer,
towns in the
he's
area
where you get
for
AIDS.
us. There was always the rumor is that there was an AIDS issue in Spencer when I was in high school. That was a long-running rumor, long-standing issue for them. So,
It was news to them, but
I mean, all rumors are at least somewhat based in fact, probably.
yeah, there's probably at least
As far
a
as I
little
know.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth the risk. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I don't even know where we were.
He sold a broken car to Trevor, and
That apparently doesn't even have an ECU
So-
in it.
no ECU, so he can't even like start it or drive it. I mean, it has an
I bought
ECU,
him a-
but it doesn't.
I
have
got him a new ECU that I found him one that was Nats deleted and already has a uprev like license on it. It just needs a tune. Robbie has the cable. It's good to go.
I do not have the cable. Why does everybody keep saying this?
You said you
I
did.
thought you did.
I don't have the cable.
I could have swore you bought an uprev cable.
No, because they had the cable. I just brought.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. That's why
hey.
you went to Kansas City.
Yeah, they had.
Robbie.
That's right.
If you get him a tune, get him the like help him. We'll help him find the tune. I'll ship you my cable.
To have or to
I have
borrow?
a cable.
Do I have to send
What?
it back?
Do you make any bets
Yeah, let's.
on whether he follows through?
I'll send you the cable to use. I don't have no problem.
To keep it?
No, I
Oh,
still need
see?
it for the S chassis.
Yes, I probably get my own. In all reality,
They're
Well,
annoyingly
I-
expensive.
yeah. I thought I wouldn't need one because I was going to get a Haltech.
How much are they?
What, a Haltech?
No, cable.
Like
$200
$250 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, really? Damn, son.
But I'm happy to send you mine if you guys want to use it. But I kept the ECU for the new car and I kept the seats for the new car.
The Haltech?
In
Apparently.
so in 2015, A friend built a very well put together 3BZ, caged, stitch welded, built VQ, E85 Pro Charger, ran on Haltech, 1000cc injectors, all the business. 6 Brimbos, Brembo front, Brembo rear, Brembo.
6 of them, huh?
For the
you need
PBM
6
Hydro.
brakes to stop this car?
What?
You need 6 brakes to stop this car?
Pistons.
Oh, it's got dual caliper rear. So
All right, well, fair enough. He does have 6 brakes.
it's got the dual calipers on the rear, and those are the spare calipers are also the Brembos. PBM angle kit, stance coilovers, all the cool shit. And I was in love with this car back then, and he spent all this time, money, and effort putting this car together. He clipped a wall around when my wife and I started dating, because we were actually at the event when that happened. We had driven out there with him and a few other friends.
As one does.
Shortly thereafter, while rebuilding the car, he and his wife split. Or not his wife, his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, split. Friends were not great friends to him, and just his life, went way sideways, and I'm not going to get into someone else's business. He gave up on the car community and the car. He was sharing a garage with a friend that was his cousin, I think. And that guy just kind of held on to the car, like hoping that at some point he'd come back to being into cars. He lost that shop, shuffled the car around from garage to garage. Buddies had space here and there. It was sitting somewhere, and that person lost that garage. They were evicted. The owner of that garage immediately called to have the car hauled away as an abandoned vehicle. That was in October. And the scrapyard that posted it for sale marketplace had it filed for an abandoned vehicle title. They had 90 days or whatever to claim the vehicle. Since that person that built the car was no longer giving a shit about cars, he just, didn't respond. Let the scrapyard have the car. I found out later, someone contacted me on Facebook after I posted about buying the car, that, he had gone to his cousin's house, the owner of the car, original owner of the car. Hey man, let me get the title and I can get it out of the scrapyard. And he had the door slammed on his face. Like, this guy he's done. No, I haven't talked to him. He was a good friend of mine in 2015. I haven't talked to him basically since 2016. Doesn't respond on social media to anybody. No one, knows where he lives anymore. Just gone. He washed his hands of literally all of his friends, including some of his family members and stuff.
Jeez.
Which, real sad story.
That does suck.
But so that car got posted, and within 20 minutes of it being posted, I had already contacted him. Hey man, I'll send you a deposit. I'm working right now. Normally my bank is limited to, only getting this much out, without a 24-hour heads up. And he's like, well, I want half down to hold the car for you. And I was like, all right, let me see what I can do. I got to the bank. They're like, oh, actually, we can go ahead and get you that full amount if you want. So within an hour of the car being posted, I was handing him cash for it. After talking to my wife, while driving around, like mid-work day, I made a call to a friend to confirm to jog my memory on the mods of the car. And it's like, all right, the value's there. Called Sarah, this is kind of where I'm thinking. And she was on board. So swung by the bank, grabbed cash and headed that way. And then went to pick it up the following day. And when I showed up...
Hold on a second. Can you imagine, Robbie, having that conversation with Jess and it going anywhere close to, yeah, sure, you should pick that up?
The only reason she would say no is because we have too many cars already, is what she says.
But we all know that's not true.
Yeah, no, I got plenty of room.
Yeah. You've got a whole yard, Robbie.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing sits outside. Nothing.
Yeah, half the time I'm not even sure you're here when I pull up.
Exactly. No cars sit outside.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's lots of room.
Well, and part of the reasoning behind it was, for the price of the car, it has two 18-inch by 9.5 work VSKFs, the big hot boy wheels.
Yeah.
Those are there's
I've never understood it,
$1,300.
but a bunch of people love them.
Yeah, I'd say they're really popular to some people. I'm not.
There's $1,300 right there. And the pictures on the ad. Hey, look, you can still see the Pro Chargers hanging out there. There's thousands of dollars there. All the money is just in those two parts alone. The Sparko seat's still in it. The Momo wheel's still in it. All of these parts are still there. The value's there. So if I parted it out, I'd get my money back. Whatever. Because originally, I was like, I'll pull the motor out of my old 350Z, shove it in this one, scrap the old car if it's too bad, and sell this 350Z and keep the engine for myself and the Pro Charger. I had a bunch of different ideas of what I wanted to do with it. It kind of resonated with me because I actually found my Datsun in a junkyard. So this is my second Z that I have kind of rescued from a junkyard and I've been bringing back. I'm going to bring back to life. When I found my Datsun, I was going with a friend to a junkyard to pull the center console out of it. Got there, and it's like, holy shit, this car is way too nice to be in a junkyard. Hey, what's the deal with this? The owner, the junkyard was like, a lady down the road, her husband died while he was restoring it. It's the engine's half there. It's not all put together. She didn't know what to do with it. She just called us to haul it away. And so it's like, all right, here's your money. Give me the whole car. And this is kind of the same situation of, after I got it home and the more I thought about it, it's like, man, it's too close. I don't believe in fate or anything like that, but it's too cool of a story. And it's too close of, this is a car that I hadn't seen since 2015. A good friend built it. I was in love with it then. I'm still love the car now. And, it just is a neat story that kind of parallels my Datsun, in which my Datsun's a forever car for me. And it's
everybody knows I'm a sucker for a story when it comes to cars.
Same. I am too.
That's what I love about the car world is the stories that come out of it.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that's just like, all right, I'm going to do what it takes to get this car. Going through it, the cage is still there. And I hadn't even been in the car until basically leaving for Iowa. I saw the Haltech harness hanging from the dash. So a 350Z, the ECU bolts up behind the glove box. And how it was at the junkyard, that whole area, it had been outside with the windows down since October. So the whole floor was full of water and stuff. And I'm just like, man, that's all probably junk. I see the stock ECU laying there. I see the Haltech harness. And it's all hanging there. It's like, oh, so it's probably still plugged into the ECU, kind of leaning up over the door, leaning in and stuff. I'm a big fat guy, so I can't really get in the car through the window all that well. I get the car up on the trailer out of the mud and puddle. I still can't, I can't open the door to get in the car because of the trailer fenders. I get it to the shop. I push it off the trailer straight onto wheel dollies. Slide it back onto the lift and lift it up into the air. And now I can't open the doors again because it's on a lift. And it's just like getting ready to go to Iowa. It's just like, all right, I'm going to wedge myself in here and I'm going to get this stuff for Robbie. I get in there and I start looking around. I flop over on my back and I'm looking up. I was like, there's not shit under this dashboard. I don't know where the Haltech is. I am still friends. I still talk to on a regular basis the cousin that was storing the car. And he has found me the intercooler, and I'm hoping he finds me the other stuff. And I told Robbie, if the Haltech appears, it will be his. I don't know what condition it's going to be in.
Robbie was really banking on this.
I was pretty pumped.
He was really excited about it.
He
kind of broke his heart.
Story of my life.
So they got
you lied
running.
to him twice. That's really what happened.
They had it running 2 years ago, and then he's like, "Yeah, the fuel pump stopped powering up." When you turn the key on, and I was looking around, and it's like the injector harness, all of the plugs for the injectors are gone. The wires just go to unsheathed spade connectors for both pins on every injector.
Oh
it's like,
my God.
I bet you anything you fried it. And then plus it was probably laying in a puddle of water. So it's just like, I have no idea what the condition of the Haltech is, but at that point I was like, Robbie, if you want it, man, it's yours. I'm going to take the Link Extreme that's in this 350Z and put it in this car anyways. Put my seats in it because they're comfortable and I'm fat, and the Sparko that's in there I don't fit in. So it's just like I've been going through it and just ordering everything I need to. The car on E85, digging through old Instagram posts, the car made 495-ish foot-pounds of torque at 95% duty cycle on 1,000cc injectors. Talking to Josh Fettis and stuff, he's like, that's probably a mid 500 horsepower car then. I'm not sure what boost it makes yet. It is a Vortex Procharger kit. It is rods, pistons, cams, all ARP, everything, super dampener. It is a nice setup. Great exhaust.
Is this the most powerful car you've ever owned, potentially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
I mean, I realize in the world that we live in where, like, every YouTuber you see makes 1,000 horsepower cars with junkyard LSs and Chinese turbos that, like, we are kind of desensitized. But 500 horsepower is a lot.
You're moving.
So
it's a lot.
I went ahead knowing that those injectors were the weak point and what condition they were after this janky wiring. I went ahead and bought 1,200cc injectors and a bigger fuel pump and have the intention of running 85 and all that fun shit.
Hell yeah.
I'm hoping that the car is around 600 horsepower. I don't need 600 horsepower, but it just seems like a fun time. Mainly because two reasons. I have 2 drag races I need to call out, and I'm going to do it
right now.
Dalton, Topeka, Corvette through to Z needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm all in on that.
I want to line them up. I half-tracked him last year. I was super excited. We got that on video. I got him like half-track, and then he went tearing past me like I was standing still. That car is so gnarly.
That's because he has no traction to start with, because all he does is spin.
My old Route to Z got him to like the half-track, and then he went tearing past, just shooting fireballs. That thing's so sick.
That's the best, isn't it?
But
who's call out 2?
What?
Who's call out number 2?
Number 2 is my brother and his R32 GTR.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
His car made like 540 wheel on E85. It's got some hinky
That's
problems
all-wheel,
in
though. That's healthy.
Unless he gets a new nitrogen canister, it is not all-wheel drive, because Nissan all-wheel drive at the time has like a rear canister that has to pressurize for the all-wheel drive system, and that it's old and doesn't work anymore all that often.
Oh, weird.
Is that a thing that's hard to get, or does he just not want to buy it?
I'm not sure how hard it is to get, but he's got a lot of other things going on in life at the moment. House renovation and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see. But he did, while it was together this past season, he took it to the drag strip and was only able to make 2 passes. Second one, the intercooler pipe blew off and shot into the fan belt off, and it wrecked the radiator and some other stuff. I had to go tow it home from the track. And then the first run, I think he spun the tires and stuff, but he ended up running slower than my old Route to Z. He ran like a 14.6 in a 500 horsepower GTR.
Oh no!
So I've been giving him shit about that, especially because his license plate's Gozilla, which super lame. But he couldn't beat the last Route to Z. I'm gonna make sure he can't beat this one too.
Jesus Christ!
So, but yeah, I'm real excited about this car. It is just so much car for, I honestly don't care. I got the car for $5,000.
Jesus,
it is what it is. I don't care.
Does that upset you a little bit?
No, I mean
good for you.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, but like, what the fuck?
I got lucky. I mean, when I used to flip cars, my friend Sean's dad, has the IMSA Fiero that hopefully will be at Lime Rock. Sean will be at Lime Rock with his 911, but I'm not sure about his dad. I believe he'll be there, though. Sean and I mean, that's how you flip cars. We were the only game in town that had a trailer, and we always kept, we both just kept $3,000 each in a drawer And it's just like,
It's all about timing.
Oh yeah.
well, you
It's
have people that go back
all
and
about
forth
timing.
in like comments on the post, like, oh, well, and it's just like, go straight to the DM. You DM them, hey, I can be there in an hour with the trailer and cash. I'll negotiate once I get there.
Yeah.
And that's,
My
I
dad,
didn't
when
bother
he's selling
negotiating
stuff,
this guy
half the
until I
time he
got there.
won't even talk to somebody. Like if he's selling a thing,
yeah.
he won't even talk to you if you try to negotiate without being in there in person.
Yep.
Yeah. And I told this guy, I was like, I can be there with the cash, at a minimum, I'll send you a deposit and I can be there tomorrow with the trailer and with the rest of the cash. He's like, well, I want half down. And then I was able to actually show up with all of the cash. And I was like, all right, let's talk about it while I'm standing here.
Right.
But no, it was too good a car for me not to buy and too good a story. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, now I have another purple 350Z that replaced one with another one.
What's funny to me is these are supposed to be rare.
No, they're everywhere.
So
The purple color?
this car is not originally that color. This car was
Okay.
originally burnt copper.
Oh, that would have been way better.
oh, I could see that on the side skirt.
Oh,
Yeah, you can see where the side skirts are supposed to be in burnt copper.
Yeah.
I hate that color. And what bothers me more is that the cage matches the burnt copper pretty well,
Yep.
but it doesn't match the insane gold flake bass boat party that's happening in the engine bay.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Because the engine bay is like insane amount of flake, and it's like a light gold, like BBS gold on like a Subaru wheel, less
Okay.
orangey,
Okay.
and it has like
I don't know if you
hollow
have any
flake,
pictures of
like
that, Riley.
insane amount.
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah, it's like bass boat.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
that
it
is like
it is hot boy as shit,
gold.
but it doesn't match the cage, so I need to paint the cage, which is gonna suck.
Yeah, that's not super fun.
The rest of the burnt orange will be gone when I put the rest of the body back on it.
It'd be
which I
really
have all
hard
of.
to, because painting cages spraying cages sucks.
Uh-huh.
And that cage is sprayed, which I hate to roll it now, but I'm gonna have to.
Are you
No,
gonna be?
spray it.
You're not gonna be able to roll it with that flake, are you? It's never gonna look
No.
right.
No, I won't. It won't. The cage won't have the flake, but it will be a closer gold at least. I hate how orange that gold is. I hate how orange the color is on the cage versus the engine bay.
It's in your pictures, at least. It almost looks more bronzy than gold.
Yeah.
It is like the factory wheel color on a STI, like that gold.
No,
From like a Hawkeye or-
the cage it looks more bronze
Oh.
than gold. In the
The
pictures, at
cage
least.
is almost the exact color the burnt bronze is. Almost.
Yeah.
I think it's the autos. It looks a lot like the AutoZone copper spray can you can get for heat treated.
Oh, okay.
But I did find powder coat for the brake calipers that match the engine bay in the crazy amount of flake. So all 6 Brembos will be the right color.
Jesus. That's cool. I'm excited to see this car just because it's silly.
I mean, ride-alongs at Topeka for drifting would be a lot more rowdy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just
that.
wish it was a better place to do it.
Drifting.
Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
Yeah. I'm sad that
Yeah,
RPM doesn't still do full-fledged drift days because I would make you come down to one of them.
If RPM still would do it, and I still may reach out, maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know, but I'll play dumb, pretend like I didn't read it on the website. But
I wish they still did drift days, and I wish that those guys were still putting on drift events, and we could go down there. And
because
It's
if they'll let us rent it, I've got a handful of people that would come out with us, including my friend Colin. He's in South Dakota now, but he's Hot Laps on Instagram. But he just did Drift Week in a Catfish Camaro, but
Hell
not
yeah.
like an early one, like an LT1
hell
Camaro.
yeah,
And it's sick. Big Miller Lite sticker in the back window.
I mean,
But
I think those are factory. Pretty sure that
I've had a bunch of friends that would come out there to go play around on RPM if they would have us. But
because my dad thoroughly enjoyed riding with. Like he told me that he had more fun in your car on the drift pad, on the skid pad, than he did riding with Matt on the track the year before.
in fairness, Matt causes a lot of anxiety on track.
Yeah, because there's no way in my dad's mind that car was going to make it through that corner at that rate of speed.
Yeah. Your dad handled it pretty quick. Because when I took your dad for a ride, you got to put on a little bit of a show, right? So
Yeah.
I hooked it in third gear,
Right.
at that first corner for him, and I mean, he handled that well.
But he
seemed
said
like he's
he
having a
said
fun
he
time.
enjoyed that more than he enjoyed being on track with Matt, and so
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if he would feel the same way about it on track in a drift car, like if that's still more fun for him.
Yeah,
My dad says the thing about my dad that I think lends drifting or lends him towards drifting is that he says the two things he loves about drag racing are the burnout and the launch, and then like after that everything else is just procedure. You just have to deal with it.
Yep.
And so obviously drifting is just burning out in motion.
Yeah.
And so there's part of that clearly my dad's going to enjoy very thoroughly. So
if he comes to Topeka this year, I met a kid there last year on a white S13, and by the end of it, we ended up tandeming together. So next year, I'll surprise your dad with some tandeming.
yeah,
I feel like that will
awesome.
get it entertaining because it's that was I took Maton's Maton Roseberg's crew chief, I think is I guess what he would be out for a ride along, and it's like we threw it into a like. As I'm pulling up to the line, like we just got done, they're basically letting me hot lap. And as I was pulling back up, this white S13 that I had been talking to earlier that night was pulling up, and I just like held my arm out the window and kind of waved him behind me. And I don't think he saw me do that, like my passenger. And we get going, and we're heading to the first corner, and I shift it into third, and go to flick it in, and big clutch kick, and throw a lot of angle at it. And the next thing you know, you just hear the blow off valve of the SR in the passenger window, and he's just like, oh, and it's just like that was a great chase run. He was right on my door, and definitely gave him a good ride along and good show. It's fun when you're getting chased.
I will never forget riding with Matt when we went to our first drift event, because like Eman and Matt couldn't be more different.
Yeah, personality-wise?
Like personality-wise, because Matt's super chill.
Reserved, quiet.
Just very quiet. And like we're in his car, which was an S13. An S13 with an E-Rod crate motor in it.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah, and it was rowdy. It was a good time.
Well made.
Yeah. And he had just like the most gangster rap going. And he had it kind of quiet, and they sent us, and he turns it up as he's slamming gears, and then we hucked it in, and we were like deep into fourth on a T56, so we're well into the triples, and he just, does the whole run, and we finish, and he's like, he kind of looks at me, he goes, like quietly, he turns his radio down first, and he goes, yeah, that was pretty good, and that was it, and I was just like I've never been so scared in my fucking life, but hey, we did good. You're right.
Weird,
that was good.
I did the same thing. Like I'll get done tandeming, and like if I have a passenger, I don't typically do a lot of chase runs and stuff. And if you're chasing someone, it's in my opinion, it's a little bit more exhilarating trying to get up on them and stuff. And like I'll get done chasing Josh or one of my other friends. And like, we're doing like our cool down, like half lap to get back into grid, and I'm fist pumping out the window hype.
Right.
But if I have someone in the car with me, I'm typically leading the train, leading the tandem. And, we get done and I roll the window, turn the radio back down. Oh, yeah. Fun, right? Isn't that a good time? Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Let's get back in line.
I mean, he was leading, but I feel like even if we were chasing, that would have been his reaction. He's just very chill.
Yeah, it's all you got to have the right music though. He's got the music down.
It was very gangster.
I have a playlist of it's all over from like Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart, Matt and Kim, Daylight, Prof, who's a rapper, great high energy stuff. I ain't seen something I can just kind of nod along to, kind of get in that bounce and that rhythm.
There's that stupid reel that keeps popping up where what people think I'm listening to and then what I'm actually listening to, and it's every time we touch. And I could see E-Man doing that.
Mac Miller, the Spins,
super
Mac Miller's
pop,
a good one.
Dance music.
Yep.
Some Darude. Sandstorm.
I won't do Sandstorm, but there's some techno and like EDM that I'll listen to. I just need something that I can kind of just get in my head and my rhythm and just
I can see.
Then I
can see where music and drifting work well together. That you can't do that with racing.
No. When I'm running around the track, radio's off because I'm listening to the car.
Josh refused to take the radio out of the Neon.
Really?
That was part of endurance racing in his mind.
They had to have music?
Yeah, and I assumed, knowing Josh, that it was like Slipknot or Korn or something real fucking hard.
Weird.
And I mean, I'll listen to some like I'll post some of my in-car stuff on TikTok and Instagram, and like you'll hear the music in the background. It's random like pop punk and emo stuff, and then like, but the runs where I'm on it, I like, Dead Man Shuffle by Prof. It's a good one, real good one. But it'll be a fun season with these cars. The S13 is ready to go. I fired it up. It had a dead battery, but she's running.
So
it needs
so
to
if
be
you
one
get
color.
this Z going, is one of the S chassis probably going to leave?
No.
I mean, why do you need two full-fledged drift cars?
For when he breaks one.
I suppose there is. There's a lot of. There's only so many cars you can put into a wall before you don't have anything to drive anymore. I didn't even think about that.
So the S14 is Sarah's car,
right? But
she'll be driving the S14.
But you don't need an S13.
Actually, on her birthday weekend is her first event. What'd you say?
You don't need the 13 if you have the Z.
So the 13, I used to own an S13 coupe and I sold it and I regretted it. The coupe is hard to find. 13s. S chassis in general are just getting too expensive to buy again. I bought mine cheap enough that I don't want to sell it and then down the road want another one and just can't afford to.
You have the wrong S13. It doesn't really matter anyway.
No, I love
because the hatch is the S13 hatch is the best 240,
except for the 15.
He doesn't think so.
I like the S13 hatch.
The hatch is good.
I like that,
but I rather have a coupe, especially because I think it lends better to the hot boy look. And I like everyone's like, oh, you do 17s on S13s. Well, I've got 18-inch by 10s and 18-inch by 11s. Work emits just these big drug dealer looking wheels that look almost like Dayton's. I want to park it somewhere and be like, oh, that guy sells coke.
Jesus.
I want to look like that guy from a town over where you get the drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah, from the next town down the road.
So it's more of not being able to replace it down the road later, and then on top of that,
I can give you that because they are getting
too expensive,
real dumb.
Yeah, and like the work that we put into the tube front, I worked really hard with my fabricator on that. I wanted a very specific thing because I can unbolt my core support clean off of it, pull the headlights, radiator, oil cooler, all of it at once, and just lift it off and set it to the side, and slide my engine straight in and straight out. It is beautifully done. It's
smart
awesome.
When you're running a VQ,
right? But it was something that I wanted. That was I caught you there, but that, and if this 350Z drives like my last one did, it has a PBM angle kit on it, which I don't know how aggressive it is. It does get more steering angle than the GK Tech kit that I did have on the last Z. But I mean, if this car isn't all twitchy and high caster self-steering, and I can kind of dial it back into being like the last one where it can do both things, who knows? Maybe I'll come after Dalton and track mod.
I guess I assumed that it has a welded diff in it. I guess, and that it would just be
it's
a
probably got some like really expensive, like something weird in it.
My assumption is that it's welded.
Diff. It's for sure got a welded diff, Robbie.
No,
absolutely.
How much money he spent everywhere else?
Yeah, but for drifting, welded diff is the answer. You don't put a limited slip in.
That's fair.
You could put a two-way in there.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's two-way in there.
I would be shocked if it's anything short of a welded diff.
Slap bet?
No, absolutely not. Don't need to be fucking slapped.
I mean, I tracked the last Route to Z with the welded diff.
I've done it.
God damn it.
So, but yeah,
I thought he was grabbing a cat there for a second. I was like, dude, that's a little aggressive.
No, Sarah needed her pillow. It's sleepy time here.
Yeah, it's getting
We've
late.
been doing this too long.
It's sleepy time here, too.
Yep.
It's more aggressively sleepy time here. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll come after Dalton and track mod.
That would make me really happy. Really happy.
Yeah.
If you got 600 horse, we're going to have to listen to him talk about how you've got 100 some more horsepower than he does.
Yeah, but he has a $20,000 transmission that I don't have.
I mean, it's not going to make him that much faster. It probably does.
And his car's lighter, and it fits more tire under it.
Because it probably has a lot better gearing.
Yeah.
His car is lighter, fits more tire under it, more aerodynamic.
Does it fit more tire?
A little bit.
Yeah. I'll say you probably want to be 315s most likely.
Yeah.
He'll have
So he's got
Drifty Boy 275s on there. What are you talking about?
Not when he's trying to go after Dalton.
We'll see.
We'll actually have to talk to him about getting decent tires.
You want to bet on it?
Slap bet?
We'll see. I gotta buy expensive tires for the Datsun, so we'll see.
You can't go any wider than a 285, and they have to be a 660. Those are not that expensive.
255.
Sorry, 255.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
For what I normally buy, those are expensive.
Robbie
Those
wishes that was all the
That'd be
bigger he had
great.
to buy.
That'd be great.
A 255 40 15 660 or
There's not a
615.
15-inch 255.
I've already priced them out. Those cost
That
more
doesn't
expensive.
exist.
245 is what I said.
Oh,
And I have a set already of 245 40 15s.
okay.
But they are more expensive than a set of 4 245 40 18 Kenda KR28s that I drifted
Yeah,
on.
because they're not garbage tires.
The Kendas did me just fine for drifting and road racing.
You'd be surprised how much more grip those 660s have.
I know. I'm excited for it. But really, I was real impressed with the older DZ that I sold Trevor. Wasn't too far behind Robbie time-wise. I mean, I was behind Robbie time-wise, but not as far behind as I thought it would be, especially on the tire difference, not only in size, but compound.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited.
He's going to brag about how much faster than he is with 300 more horsepower.
I know
what he's
he is.
saying.
It's always something.
It's going to really suck when he's slower because he's scared of it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like
I'm going to be terrified of it. This is way too much car. I'm totally aware of this. I like when I hadn't convinced myself to keep the car and I was talking about like parting it out. I was like, yeah, I'll take the old Root Disease engine because I know it's good and strong and healthy. I'll put that in this car and sell this as an NA Root Disease after I pick off what I want. And I'll slam this drivetrain in my S13. And I was like, until I fix some frame rails and I get a cage in it. 600 horsepower will probably rip my S13 in half. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
probably not.
Josh will tell you that centrifugal superchargers are often very peaky.
Okay.
And that it probably won't drive that great as a road racing car.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, got to find out.
Flat tune, baby. Knock me down to 400 horsepower. Go up from idle on up.
Should
I
be
just like it
interesting.
because the bypass valve on this thing is so loud. It sounds like a jet taxiing through a parking lot. It's great.
Perfect.
I like it.
So let's shut it down, Robbie.
Yeah, I think that's a show.
Tired of listening to this fool, this degenerate, this liar.
I purposely wore a drifting T-shirt for you. We'll drift into action.
I figured.
Are you going to do their hill climb event?
No. As much as I want to do the drift into hill climb, it lands on the same weekend that Lime Rock is.
Okay, well then I don't want to talk to you then.
I want to be at Lime Rock, the Datsun, especially because I think it will be a part of the Circuit Legends stuff. Plus, if the Fiero is going, I'm going to help out with the IMSA Fiero and all of that. And the hill climb portion of it is invite only. Like it's not there's like an event happening that weekend that I can compete in and be a part of.
Right.
And then that Sunday after the event's done, they're doing the exhibition hill climb. And I already know of the people that do drift indie stuff who will be invited to do that.
You're not going to get the invite?
I wouldn't be on that list.
Right, yeah, that's fair.
Jeff Donati, he's a pro driver. He still hangs out with Drift Indy. and drives their events. There's a whole bunch of those kind of guys that are at
like
the
Pro 2 level.
Pro 2 level,
Yeah.
or that. There's a Pro 1 driver that used to drive our events, Mike Power and stuff. So it's like there's a bunch of big names that could drive the event, or Derek King.
Well, that's
who
going to
does
bring out
GLTC.
That's going to bring out big names because it's such a unique event.
Yeah. Oh, and there's already people that just, there is a group of guys, the Dayton boys, that are kind of the poster children for Drift Indy. That like they all have this like kind of gold. It's a weird color, but it's all in all of their media stuff. It's like all of them have gold cars that are all wrapped the same.
Oh, they're Grid Life regulars, aren't they? They have like a bunch of them have BMWs or 350s.
No,
gold.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
those guys are out of Detroit.
Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty sure.
They're Dayton boys. They
There's
literally
like a
have
whole
one
team of
windshield.
guys that have
Yeah,
gold cars.
Yeah. No,
They're
that might be them.
They're more yellow than
There's
they
an
are
S.
gold.
There's an S14.
Nope.
A Genesis Turbo.
Nope.
And
They're all either E30 or 46s, and I think there's one or two 350Zs.
yeah. I'm pretty sure
Not them.
those guys are from Detroit.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, not them. But yeah, the Dayton boys will be in Bobby's crew, who I know you guys saw at Drift Indy or at Midwest Fest, the blue car with the tiger on the side. He was paddocked near you guys. Blue S13 hatch with the tiger down the side of it and brightly colored wheels.
Yep.
That's Bobby's crew. They'll be invited. They just got done. They are bringing to market Ecotech swaps for S13s and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I support that.
But yeah, there'll be those guys and a few of the Pro 2 guys that hang out, and I'm sure Derek will drive. He used to have his pro. I think had back in the day his pro license, and now he does GLTC and all sorts of other shit. So
Cool. For those that don't know, Drift Indy has an event in, I don't remember where it is,
Kentucky.
in Kentucky, where they're going to run up a hill climb course drifting. So it's going to be like
fun.
like Toge Mountain.
Down.
Yeah.
Are they going down?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
I mean, they may go up, but I'm assuming they're going down. That would be my assumption, is keep the inertia with you and it'll be a better show.
I suppose. But they're gonna do a mountain run event, which is gonna be super cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tied in with Saturday. So Friday night will be a cruise through town, like a parade, park downtown. People can check out all the cars competing. Saturday will be what they call Drift Indy Street League, which is supposed to be a max tire you can run is a 245, and it has to be a 300 treadwear or up. And it is designed to be street cars, so you have to have some level of interior. More interior the better. And the cars have to. There is a portion of it that is a judged portion of it. If your car doesn't look cool per the judging, they won't let you compete. They're not looking for pro cars or anything like that. They're looking for hot boy, stanced, early 2010s, that style, just low, aggressive street cars to compete. So that will be Saturday. My new 3GZ would be a contender for that because it has most of its interior. It has a dash, carpet, seats, door cards. It still has a cage, so I'm like right at the upper end of what they want to see.
It's definitely got the hot boy wheels up front.
Yep.
Yeah.
For now.
And I've got other wheels for out back, but like mine's at the upper end of prepped for that. They're really looking for a little less sauce than what that car's bringing.
300 treadwear on 600 horsepower would be a little rough.
Yeah, it'll be a smoke show.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good time. I'm bummed I'm going to miss the event, but Lime Rock was such a fun time and a great event, and I'm going to try to scumbag Robbie into going. What'd you say?
I said I really wish I would have been there.
At Lime Rock?
Yeah.
I mean, you were down in like the lower area hanging out.
I don't remember any of it. It was,
ride with Robbie.
It was one of the roughest weekends of my year, for sure.
I'm gonna scumbag Robbie into it, so just ride with him.
I'm probably not going to that one.
That was not.
You
currently
said you
on
were
the
gonna.
list.
You said you were gonna follow Robbie anywhere you go.
Too far. Robbie, I bet won't go. If Robbie's gonna drive out that direction that far, it's gonna be for Watkins Glen over Lime Rock. I bet.
Watkins Glen doesn't time out well enough for him. Plus, I mean, he could just drop his trailer off after Road America. Just drop it off and pick it up on his way out to Lime
Drop
Rock.
it
So
off
half the
where?
trip-
You do
You know,
that. You,
Columbus isn't too far.
The fuck, it's not. We're closer to Road America than you are.
You do
by
realize-
like a
I know.
remarkable margin.
you do realize what's the weekend after Road America, right?
Yeah,
Mid Ohio.
yeah.
Yeah. Do
And
it
then
too.
Lime Rock
So if
after
you do-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do Road America, then do Mid Ohio, leave it here, and then on your way to Lime Rock, grab your trailer. Save
Do you
half
have your
the
Road
trip without a
America
trailer.
ticket?
Yeah, I got Road America.
Oh shit, son. That's gonna be a wild weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Gonna be really cool. That's a neat experience for sure.
But yeah, you guys are gonna miss the greatness that is IMSA Fiero.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
I've missed a lot of
Right.
things in my day.
we'll see how my schedule plays out.
Do it.
We'll see. All right, I need to shut this down.
I'm tired, Robbie.
Yep, I was tired before we started. I'm very busy.
And Adam's got like a 3 to 7 hour drive home. I have
Yeah,
no
pretty
idea
much,
where
yeah.
Ames is still.
Yeah, it's definitely only an hour away, but it's 3 to 7 hours for sure.
Yeah. All right, E-Man, thanks for coming on, and
Always.
we'll see you here soon. And we'll catch everybody
I
else.
will not be back there anytime soon.
Yes, you will.
You got to bring him a
So
haul
far.
tech.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mail that at that
No,
point.
you
It's
have to
so
hand
far.
deliver it at this point. You owe him.
It's so
that
far.
much.
Actually, if it shows up at all, I'd be ecstatic.
You owe him that much. You liar.
Sent him free. I gave him free breaks.
Yeah, but they were because he was going to throw in the junk otherwise.
Yeah, and they need new rotors.
Yeah, they do.
So you gave him free hats.
Yeah. Delivered free hats.
I delivered your race car bed to your trailer.
All right.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Yep. We'll catch everybody next week.